Testing, testing. This is a quick test. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me a-okay. Just as a quick heads up, in today's video we'll be discussing Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. So even though the thumbnail says Cardano specifically, we will be discussing the majors. So yeah, usually the thumbnails aren't representative of what we discuss in the videos anyways, but just giving you guys a quick heads up. Again, let me know if you guys hear me a-okay. Alright, so it seems that my VPN decided to auto-connect itself, which is why the stream was a bit laggy again. Apologies for that. Clearly you guys can see I'm rusty after my downtime. I'm not 100% yet. Well, I'm more like a 85%, maybe 70% for sure. Rather me not do a stream today, but hey, I'm just itching to hang out with you guys on this lovely weekend. So again, we'll be starting a lot earlier than the countdown suggests. I don't have the strength to actually wait 10 minutes before we start, so we'll be starting soon. All right, we will be starting in around a minute. So go ahead, get your drinks, get comfy. We're about to rock and roll. I messed up the mic again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter. I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily live stream. It's not been much of a daily live stream over the past week, primarily because I was feeling a little bit under the weather, but I am feeling a lot better today. Not 100%, but it is a very, very important weekly candle close. We just had the important monthly candle close as well. So interesting things developing on both sides of the market right now, the altcoins as well as the Bitcoin market, and definitely opportunity to be had on either side depending on how this weekly candle closes, right? So it's time to wake up, time to stop sleeping, especially on Bitcoin. Many of you have been sleeping on Bitcoin. Last time around, when Bitcoin was looking a little bit precarious, I did warn you guys over sleeping on Bitcoin and ignoring the fact that Bitcoin ultimately does dictate what altcoins do. If Bitcoin is going to go down, most of the altcoins are going to be going down as well. This important thing though, guys, okay, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent over here, but again, we emphasize this during the last pullback as well. During these pullbacks, right, you are shown secrets, you are shown clues as to what the next big runners are going to be. And we saw that in the last pullback too. The coins that did not get hit as hard during Bitcoin's pullback, and some of them who actually performed really well, ended up being the runners going into the next couple of legs that all coins had after Bitcoin's pullback, right? Ethereum being one of them. Which are some of the others I am forgetting, but most of us over here in the Mango community did have our eyes on Ethereum. I did have my eyes on Rune as well. We'll be taking a look at that today. Of course, we'll be looking at Cardano. And it's very, very interesting weekly close coming up in Cardano. So yeah, just a quick commentary on how to position yourselves when you do see these Bitcoin moves, right? Because every now and then, actually often, you're going to have a couple of strong runners that decide to do their own thing regardless of what Bitcoin is doing, right? We saw that with Cardano too. This was a couple of pullbacks ago, maybe 2 or 3 pullbacks ago. We're going to have pullbacks during the bull market. It's going to happen, guys. And when we saw Cardano showing strength and doing its own thing, regardless of what Bitcoin was doing, what did we do over here at Mango? We got stronger with a Cardano position, with our conviction on our Cardano trade, right? Well, the opposite works too. If we see Cardano or Ethereum or Chainlink do something bearish, while the while the rest of the market does something bullish on a pump or a dump, right? So let's say Bitcoin's pumping and the markets respond amazingly, but Cardano doesn't. I'm gonna be like, wow, what's going on over here, okay? Because I'm expecting the market to be bullish, but it's not doing that. So clearly there is a misalignment in my thesis of the market being bullish, right? Because the market dictates everything, guys. Remember that. The market is always correct. Regardless of what you think, you might be correct in your world, but it's irrelevant. Once you understand that, you understand risk management, because the market will freaking humble you, right? You might be right in the long term, but that doesn't matter if you've lost all your money by then, okay? Especially now that many of you guys are leverage trading, okay? If you can hold on for the market to figure out the truth, right? Yeah, the truth is out there, but if you can hold on long enough, by all means, which is why many of you guys also spot trade, but many of you also leverage trade, so be very, very careful on that. So just to wrap that up, there was an entire period during 2018 to 2020 where Chainlink was the strong altcoin, where it did not care whatsoever what Bitcoin was doing, and Mango was trading Chainlink all the time. Why? Because we trade strength, right? We will trade strength wherever we see it. And we do get a couple of comments every now and then that Mango abandoned Chainlink. In fact, I'm actually in a Chainlink position now. I recently been building a Chainlink position. Now, I'm not sure whether it's going to show the same strength, but we don't marry any single coin, right? We want to our ultimate goal, and as should be all of you at home watching, is to put food on the plate, roof on top of your head, and be able to spend as much time as possible with your loved ones. You owe no allegiance to Charles Hoskinson or Vitalik Buterin or Satoshi himself. You guys owe nothing to those guys, all right? You owe it to your family, though. You owe your family a roof, you owe your family food, and you owe your family your time and your love, right? So always keep that in mind. That needs to be your allegiance. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead. I went off on a massive freaking tangent over there, and I do want to go ahead and see who we have over here on the chat. Old Man is in here. How's it going, buddy? Old Man and IJ were the first two to get here on today's live stream. Glad to see you guys. Two of my favorites. We also have Tan Swan in here today. It's been a while, buddy, since you've joined our live streams. How are you? Amira, how are you? How are you? Ben Ryan. How's it going? Matt Stories is in here. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you in here. He says, I definitely should have sold my Sol at 49.9. We'll go ahead and take a look at Solana, but it seems like you're getting a little bit too attached to that trade, and you might be over trading that a little bit, buddy. But we'll go ahead and look at it either way. Thomas Anderson up my Cardano on this little crash. All right, good for you, man. We'll take a look at Cardano. Cardano may have something coming up in terms of price movement in the next couple of days, but Cardano is on a ticker. Cardano is definitely on a ticker. What in my opinion, what Bitcoin does is going to dictate the rest of the market, right? And Bitcoin's weekly close is going to coincide with an important weekly close on Cardano too. We'll talk about that. Potato says, I thought my headphones had problems. No, it's always me, man. It's always me. I'm always making freaking mistakes with my audio. Apologies. Pipes, hey man, how's it going, buddy? How are you, Andrew? Andrew, and we have both the Andrews in here. Did you look at the Ichimoku that we were talking about in the seed chat? By the way, I do have to give a massive shout out to all the freaking seedlings. I believe it was Andrew Pipes. We have, I think, 2 Andrews in there. 3 Andrews maybe. Pipe said, we're going to hold the fort for you, Sean, while you get better. And holy crap, you guys really did. I was keeping an eye on the chat the entire time that I was under the weather, and the analysis that has been coming out of you guys, right, from both the Andrews, the Andrew from Bali and the Andrew from Australia has been really top notch. From Ollie, major props to Ollie, to Core if he's on the live stream, and Andrew for posting in the seed in the altcoin section, right, all the shots and the analysis. I'm really liking what you guys are doing, man. Like all of you. I'm really hoping Raja joins the stream today. We were discussing something in regards to his positioning right? Getting in and out of a position in regards to XRP. I do want to talk about that if he allows that, of course, on live stream, because I think that there's a mental, I don't want to say block over there. It's more of a acceptance in terms of how the markets work, right? And that will help liberate you as a trader. I think he's going through that, right, with his trading right now. So it'd be really cool to talk about that live. Hi, I just tuned in for the live stream, for the first live stream ever. Could I get a recap of what you just covered about Bitcoin? You could rewind. We haven't really talked about anything specific, but we did talk about a couple of important things. Doing a recap just for you, man. I would love to, but it's not fair for everyone else over here. Bob, hey, how's it going, Bob? Bob Harrison says not hoping Bob joins the stream. Oh man, I didn't expect you to even be able to join the stream this early. So apologies, I forgot about you, or rather didn't consider you. Can't forget about you. All right, let's go ahead and talk about let's start with the charts. We've been rambling on for too long. Just adjust. Is the chat box fine where it is, guys? Let me know. Damn it, I need to I need to manage a position, or rather add a position at the moment. Just hold on, guys. My 2FA. This pullback, I was expecting it to happen closer to around 130-ish. Happened a bit earlier than I thought. I was hoping for it. So we're going to talk about it. Okay, we're going to talk about it. I'm not feeling 110% just yet. More of a 75%. All right, so do you guys want to start with Bitcoin, or do you guys want to start with Cardano? Honestly, it doesn't really matter what you guys want to start with, because we will be starting with Bitcoin today. What's happening is important, okay? And Bitcoin, in my opinion, will dictate the rest of the market. So do you guys remember what we discussed in yesterday's, or rather last week's stream, right? Where Kusha and I got on over here on Monday, right? And we had a very detailed analysis on Bitcoin, Cardano, and Ethereum. That was really, really important. For those of you who paid attention, you guys won't be too surprised with what's going on over here, or rather you guys would at the very least have a plan of action as to what to do, okay? Because it's a very if this then that. We laid it out very, very simply, but again, most people were focused on, hey, what is so and so altcoin going to do? What's the target for that? What's the target for this? That's not really how you trade, guys, you know. This is how you trade, by understanding the direction of the overall market and how you position yourself to be part of that directional move. So the key thing that we discussed, that Kusha and I discussed, that came up a lot of confluence, a major level that's lining up with today's weekly close. Because remember, we talked about it last week, Monday, right? We talked about how, like, I didn't expect to happen this fast, but it's great that it's happening this fast. But we talked about how there's a weekly structure that's lining up with the daily structure as well. Two things, weekly and daily, lining up key freaking levels. And that was right over here. Okay, we are talking about this breakdown block, right? We talked about this bear flag, broke down, lines up with this rising wedge that broke down. And the only way that I get bullish on the higher time frames is if Bitcoin retakes these levels First, on the daily, I said if we get around 2 or 3 daily candle closes, that'd be perfect. But the big one is going to be the weekly candle close, or rather, let me put it this way: the weekly candle close above that level is going to be perfect. But 2 or 3 daily candle closes is going to make me feel better about the trade, and I may get in early. But look at how it's lining up. Okay, first recap. This level was key because, one, we talked about a breakdown point on the rising wedge, as well as the bear flag that had continuation towards the downside. But let's look at the weekly structure, guys. Okay, let me hide all my horizontals. Okay, now you guys are not seeing it over here, because, or rather, maybe some of you guys are still seeing it, but at the time before we had this candle, I should probably get a clean chart for you guys so I can draw. Let's go get a clean chart. Okay, so at the time before we had this candle here, let's ignore this candle. All right, how can I, let's block it out for you guys so you guys can visualize it. I wonder if this works. On a black, and okay, there we go. It kind of works, right? It kind of works. So visualize what was going on over here. We had an M-like structure essentially, right? And this was the neckline, right? We broke that down. We broke that towards the downside. Now, in the before the bull market started, right, around 10K to around 14K, we often discussed how historically the weekly candles on Bitcoin during the bull market have led to many fake outs. Like essentially what I was trying to say, and I've told my friends this too, right? My inner circle of traders, I've told them this: the weekly candles during bull markets break down but do not see follow through, right? So those are the worst, because you have to get bearish. So a risk management perspective, you have to at the very least take off all your bull trades, but you have to be ready mentally to get back in, because often something like this will happen where you break down on the weekly structure, and we can go back historically and go through all of these weekly pullbacks that broke structure, and then you can see it over here, boom, you can see it over here, boom, you can see it over here, boom. It happens over and over again, right? The thing is, you can't trade for that. But you can't say, hey, you know what, I'm going to buy the weekly dip because I'm bullish regardless, blah blah blah. Can't trade for that, but you can at the very least not be in a leveraged trade and wait for it to get reclaimed and take the next leg up, which is why we get mentally ready for this, right? And by this I mean the neckline being retaken, but it's not done just yet, which is why we have to wait a little more. Now I'm front running it a little bit, but that was part of my plan, right? As long as it's part of your plan to front run it, it's a-okay. And we talked about that on Monday, last week's stream. I recommend you guys watch last week's stream. It's going to be very educational, because you're seeing it all unfold today. We talked about how if I get 2 or 3 daily candle closes, that'll be good enough for me, because that level is really important, because it's going to mean that we reverse the daily uptrend, right? We'll go back to the daily in a bit. And that's what we're doing. We're reversing the daily uptrend. But the best thing that could happen now is if the weekly closes above the structure over here. Then I want to see another weekly candle close, of course, for major confirmation. But again, the more confirmation that you get, remember, your position size is going to be at a higher price. So essentially, think of it this way: you pay for confirmation. Okay, nothing comes for free in the markets. The more risk you take, Can you guys hear me now? You guys can hear me now, right? The chat is a bit delayed, so I'm gonna have to wait for you guys. Oh man. All right. Thank you for that, Justin. Thank you so much for that. So, I was essentially saying this. Let's go through it. Let's go through it again. Okay, I'm gonna try. Someone said I was entering the flow state, and that's so true. I was entering the flow state, so it sucks that I got cut off on my mic right then. So essentially, what I was saying is, let me go back and find the more risk you take. Okay. So essentially, what I was talking about is, you got to pay for confirmation. Okay, the more confirmation you want, the more you're going to have to pay the market, right? Because let's say we wait for the weekly candle to close, as well as we get another weekly candle close above that. So essentially, you're looking for 2 weekly candle closes above this neckline. That would be really good confirmation, which it would essentially mean that the bulls have completely annihilated that down continuation move that the bears should have been looking for, right? It means that the bulls have invalidated that, and you have 2 candle closes above a major breakdown point. Great confirmation. But that would also mean, guys, that the price is a little bit higher, right? Maybe we'll be sitting at 60,000. Now, that's essentially what I mean by you have to pay extra for confirmation. Now, it's up to you guys, okay? That's up to you guys to decide as traders how much you're willing to, how much risk you're willing to accept, and how much confirmation you want. So if you want more confirmation, right, which is completely fine. Sometimes the market is just looking so shitty according to your system, according to your trading strategies, and you're like, you know what, I want more confirmation, and I'm willing to pay a higher price for more confirmation. Now, paying a higher price does not mean that you're putting yourself at more risk. Do not fall for that trap. Way too many people fall for that trap. Price and risk are completely different and independent. And if you guys are in the Mango C program, you guys have a deep understanding of this, right? Especially going through the risk management module. Price, the current price you're paying, has nothing to do with your risk. Okay, nothing to do. You can have more profits if you pay for a lower price, by all means, yes, but that may entail taking more risk. Now, it's you as a trader. It's up to you as a trader to decide how much confirmation do I want before I put on risk. Okay, so now on Monday, I laid it out to you guys, my mindset as to how much confirmation I want, and that's why these videos help me too, right? Because when I say it out to you guys live, it enforces me to follow my own rules, right? When I said to you guys, okay, you know what, 2 daily to 3 daily candle closes is enough for me. Okay, a weekly close would be nice, but 2 or 3 daily candle closes would be good. It helps me say, you know what, those are my rules, so that I'm going to follow those rules, right? If instead I had said, nope, I'm not going to be accepting a daily candle close or 2 daily candle closes, it's only a weekly close that I want, then I would have followed those rules instead. Okay, so I established my risk criteria, my confirmation criteria as well, right? 2 or 3 daily candle closes was enough for me. Weekly candle close would be the best. 2 weekly candle closes is me getting a little bit too cautious. That's what I was talking about. Now, let's go ahead and draw that horizontal line again. That's the line I put in before I got cut off. And essentially what we were talking about was that was the neckline that the weekly lost, that the bears were able to break towards the downside. Now, historically, we've talked about this in the bear market, or rather, I've been talking about it to you guys. We talked about it during the $10,000 region, and I've been talking about it a lot more to my friends, my inner circle of traders, where I was like, you know what, guys, the weekly candle is going to be the most insidious candle during the bear market, because we've seen weekly structures break down consistently throughout the previous bear market. I mean bull market. The weekly candles are going to be the most insidious during the bull market, because we've seen bull market weekly candles break down structure, but no follow through, right? And we've seen it over and over again, over here, over here, over here, over here. I mean, it happens all the time, but you can't trade for it like that, right? So that was something else I touched on. I'm not sure whether you guys heard me or not. Now, this weekly level again came into play where the bears broke it down. We saw no follow through. I don't say no follow through. We did see follow through, but I would want to see a lower high be put in by the bears and then continuation towards downside. But instead, what have we done, guys? This is something I did not touch on actually. What have we done? The bulls actually took out the high of the previous week's candle. So what the bears would have wanted to see was the candle come up to somewhere around here, this level that we have drawn, get rejected. So essentially we would have an M, lower high, and then take out this low. That's what the bears would want to see. If we had done that, I would have been looking for 30,000 Bitcoin myself, right? Around 30 to 35,000. But the bears have not done that, right? Instead, the bulls have retaken the high. Now we want to wait and watch what happens. Going on over to the daily, this key level over here. Am I muted? Okay, I'm not muted. All right, so this key level that we're talking about over here, around 55,000, 56,500, right? Let's go ahead and zoom in to see how the lower time frames are reacting to this level. This is the daily right over here, and you can see the level right there and how the daily has been, or rather how the mid time frames has been reacting to that key weekly neckline. And remember, the weekly is closing today. Okay, so we've come up against it, smacked against it. Now this was key over here, guys. This was really key. What happened from over here was really key. We smacked up against it. Over here, remember, going back to our weekly too, this was the same level that I discussed just now. I said the bears, the onus was on them to put in a rejection over there and drive the price lower. This would have entailed that the weekly puts in a lower high as well as the daily puts in a lower high over here, right? That's what they would have been looking for. The weekly would have been completely destroyed, as well as the daily time frame in terms of continuing the downtrend. But with this instead, what happened was we put in a low, put in a lower high, put in a higher low, put in a higher high. That is an uptrend that the bulls have established on the daily time frame. Not yet on the weekly time frame, mind you, but they have started it on the daily time frame. So the downtrend is done on the daily time frame. Now it's on the bears again to replay that downtrend, right? You want the bears to now, or you don't want the bears, or the bears rather, unless you're bearish, the bears have to now restart that downtrend. And the way they do that is by breaking this uptrend, okay? So what do you have over here now? Now you guys are getting a glimpse of how these patterns form, right? You have an uptrend that looks like a rising wedge. This is why a rising wedge is considered bearish. It's not really bearish, guys. It's actually a bullish pattern that only if it breaks down is bearish, because the bears have taken control and have reversed the trend that was otherwise bullish. It was an uptrend, but instead you have a downtrend now because they broke it, or rather you have lost the uptrend. Okay, you don't have downtrend until you put a lower high and lower low. Okay, so that's key now in terms of structural analysis. Let's go ahead and pull out our indicators. This is where things get really freaking interesting. What's one of our favorite indicators? Well, a lot of you guys are going to say the Mango Dynamic, but the Mango Dynamic now is now one of our favorite indicators. But historically, you guys know that our Ichimoku has served us so freaking well, and we have a lot of interesting things going on over here. And I want you guys to tell me before I start, what do you guys see going on over here? Let me know in the live chat. This lets me take a break too. I've been going for a good 15 to 20 minutes, maybe more. Hey, Justin Thang is in here. How's it going, Justin? Jazz Pazzo says, so how are the traders in the Mango research? Are they seeing actual improvement? Is there... Oh, you mean the Mango seeders? The seedlings, that's what we call ourselves. We're all seedlings. He asks, are there any Mango seedlings who are struggling, or no one struggles? We all struggle, man. Like I struggle every single day. Like, we have to struggle to improve, right? It's more of a the more you figure out the technical analysis bit, by the way, which is only the first battle, right? The more you realize that you have to battle yourself and your mind, right? Then it becomes a this is why I say that trading is a journey in self-discovery, because you're going to learn things about yourself that you thought did not exist in you, right? Negative things about yourself that did not exist in you, and you tackle those negative things, and then you become a better person in real life too. And I noticed that those negative behaviors now a lot more when I interact with my friends and my family, and I stop it. Just like you have to stop those negative behaviors, right? You have to seize them, like you have to like cut them out before they actually take control of you, and then you do stupid things on the chart. You have to do that, or you're going to lose money, right? In real life, you don't lose money, so you just let it happen. You have no stake. You just end up being a bad person, and you don't lose anything other than making the people around you feel like crap. And it's the little things that you don't realize add up, right? Usually your family and your really close friends will just let it go, but you don't want to be that kind of person. You want to improve. But again, I'm going off on a tangent, but this is really important. Becoming a good trader will make you a better person in real life. And this is why I also say that I don't think you can be a good trader and not be a good person. Just does not make sense to me, at least. But I did not answer your question. To answer your question, though, you should definitely reach out to the seedlings themselves. There are a few seedlings in here. Siddharth, for example, Andrew, Piper, Raja is in here. Is that Raja the Tiger? No, I think that's not the same Raja. Yeah, we do have a few seedlings on the live chat today. Yep, smash the like button, guys. Luda asks, what do I think Cardano can reach by the end of the year? We'll talk about Cardano soon, man. Yeah, Matt Story is in here too, so he's a seedling. You can talk to him. And John Kai is in here? Or is that Jeff? No, that's Jeff. How's it going, Jeff? How are you, buddy? Okay, so essentially, the key thing that's going on over here, guys, is the bearish TK cross that did not happen, right? How bullish is this? How bullish was that candle? If we saw any continuation, okay, firstly, the bears did not see their edge-to-edge trade come to fruition, okay? That alone is pretty freaking bullish. We retook the cloud, so we took back the Kumo, but we closed above the Kijun. Then we defended the Kijun, sandwiched between the two, and then freaking retook the Tenkin and Kijun just before we could get the bearish TK cross. Now, you guys know, if you guys are in the C program, the Ichimoku module, the implications of this. In fact, during the Ichimoku module, while I was constructing the Ichimoku, the legendary Ichimoku module, Krisha likes to call it, we were sitting, right? Bitcoin was sitting at this zone. By the way, if you guys haven't, a lot of you are realizing, stopped at the risk management module because you guys got so excited and did not finish the program, because we have the Ichimoku module and the oscillator module and one more module, I believe, right after the risk management module, right? Watch the Ichimoku module. Your understanding of trend analysis is going to go one step further, because in the Ichimoku module, we combine the concepts from your support and resistance module, your candlestick analysis module, and the trend analysis module to give you a holistic understanding of everything, right? Which is why I kept the Ichimoku module for the end, right? Because it is a combination of everything. Once you understand, it's super powerful. Anyways, during that time, while I was constructing it, we were sitting somewhere around here, right? Over here. And during the module, I said, guys, you don't often see this. It's honestly the best depiction of proof of analysis, because it's literally embedded into the course. I said, we have a golden situation with Bitcoin happening, unfolding before our eyes. Okay, and I talked about how Bitcoin very rarely sees the golden situation where all the check marks is tick, all the boxes are ticked in relation to what we discussed in the seed program, right? All the freaking check marks are ticked, which is why I went so heavy, right? It didn't matter if I would have lost the trade. Of course, it would have mattered. I would have lost money, but I would have felt good that I followed my analysis and I followed my strategy and my plan, okay? Because you're not always going to get it right. Your job as a trader is to take the high probability trades in conjunction with the magnitude of the win possibility, right? And just keep taking those. When you lose, you take your loss and get out, right? You've seen us take a couple of losses over the past month, and we just got out. It didn't matter because the other trades who win, like Ethereum, won and covered those losses and then some. But you got to be okay taking your losses and have that mindset going into the trade. Over here, though, we had a setup, okay, where you had a high probability trade on your hands where it's going to very likely be successful. And you also had a high magnitude freaking trade on your hands. That is a golden freaking combo. And what did we see after that? This was one of my biggest wins in a very, very long time in terms of like position sizing and everything, right? Because you can get a massive win, by the way, on a altcoin / shitcoin, call it what you will. But if your position size is low, it doesn't matter, right? But getting a massive win on a massive Bitcoin position, that is what trend trading can give you, right? Let me delete all this. So now this situation that we had all the way back in 10K is lining up with even our, so the TA is now lining up with our mindset during this zone, right? If you guys have been following the live streams over the past like few days or past week or so, or maybe more, I've been talking about how what's going on between the 50 to 60K region is lining up a lot in terms of sentiment, crowd sentiment, with what happened during the 10 to 12K zone, right? So this zone here where we broke above 10K, which is akin to us breaking 40 to 50, right? We broke into the 50 zone, and then the key area was to break 12K, okay? So we were ranging between 10K and 12K, and everybody expected moon from 12K to 20K once we broke into 12K. But what happened instead? We broke into 12K, put in a bear structure, and broke back down into 10K, right? But 10K got defended, accumulated against, and then the trend continued, right? So we spotted that. We spotted all the accumulation, we spotted the Ichimoku trade, we spotted many things, and we took the trade, okay? Didn't matter that this broke down because the trend can still continue. Now, I was saying over the past few days, my thesis, I could be wrong, okay? I still could be wrong. We're going to find out. My thesis is that what's going on now during the 10 to what's going now is very, very similar in terms of mindset, crowd mindset, to what happened during the 10K to 12K, right? And look at the structure, guys. Very, very similar, right? We broke about 50K from 40K. We broke about 50K, and then we consolidated between 50K and 60K. We put in a bear structure, rising channel, and broke down, got supported at 50K. And now it looks like we want to continue the trend. I'm not convinced, personally, that we continued immediately from over here, right? But Bitcoin may surprise us, and we may, have a quicker move than even I expected. Let's see. So far, that thesis, right, where we discussed right after the dump, I'd sent out an audio note to you guys, and I said the craziest thing that could happen from over here is that we just rebottom up and not let people get back into their positions. Seems like we're doing something like that on the weekly time frame, right? Let's go back to the weekly. Just rebottom up, took out the high, right, of the previous weekly candle. Now going back to the daily, what's going on over here? Ichimoku, very, very similar. Very, very similar to what happened in the 10k to 12k. Now the 10k to 12k zone was a lot more bullish, right? Over here it is, I would say 80%, 75% to 80% of how bullish the structure was and the TA was and the Ichimoku setup was on the 10k to 12k region. But it's still freaking very, very good for already 5xing, right? Equilibrium, we have equilibrium back, guys, which is massive, massive. Testing the 10k TK after retaking it, right? Testing it one more time. If we bounce from over here, that's going to be ultra bullish. If we lose it, we go back into consolidation, in my opinion. Okay, so now what happens from over here is very, very important. Do the bulls defend this? Because if they defend this level, this Tenkin and Kijun, it's also going to mean that the weekly level is going to be defended, right? Let's go back. Let's delete these stupid freaking drawings. This weekly level over here is lining up with our daily Tenkin Kijun. You're seeing so much confluence. It's also lining up with the order block that we discussed in the beginning of the video, right? Beginning of the stream. So yeah, is that making sense to you guys? This is important. Very important. Tanswan says, is it because you think that good traders need to have a certain mentality to make profits that you think they tend to be good people? Yes, in a general sense, yes. But it's not so much so that they need to have a good mentality before they start trading, right? What I'm saying is, to become a good trader, the skill of trading is going to beat out the negative tendencies that you do have, right? It's going to beat it out of you if you want to be successful in trading, right? You're gonna find out things about yourself that you didn't think existed. So if you tackle those problems as a trader, it's going to be very selfish for you, in my opinion. It's going to be very selfish, and I guess that's a counter to my argument, right? It's going to be very selfish for you to do that for your trading, but not do that for your relationships, right? Why would you not? Why would you not want to work on your relationships and be a better person? Because what the hell is the point of all the money that you earn as a trader if you're not going to want to spend time with your loved ones and spend time in a better manner, right? By improving yourself. So I guess one could say that if you're very, very selfish, you would only want to improve as a trader in terms of money acquisition, but you don't do that for your family and your friends. But that is just so wrong. Yeah, it's 2060 on 2030. All right, so guys, that's the gist of what's going on over here. We have a lot of confluence coming in at this major level at around 56,500ish. This level is a very easy level to have an invalidation point off, right? Out of you. Essentially, if the daily candle closes especially today, if the daily candle closes underneath the Tenkin and the Kijun, right, not only are we going to lose the daily structure, but we're also going to be losing the weekly structure, or rather the bulls would not have retaken the weekly structure. I'm really interested to see how CMEs look. Yeah, CMEs have retaken their weekly structure too, so oops, what is going on? So the weekly structure looks a little bit different on CMEs. To be honest, CMEs look a little bit better. They do have more of a bull flag like structure going on over here, you could say. right? And we're coming back to retest it on CMEs. So that's going to be really interesting to see how CMEs open. Yeah, let's see. I'm more concerned with the structure here since it's a little bit easier to read. Now, depending on what Bitcoin does, the rest of the market will follow, right? If Bitcoin closes ultra bullish over here, guys, you would likely, in my opinion, may want to not be as exposed to altcoins. Okay, it's actually the opposite of what you guys thought I was going to say. I think the best case scenario for altcoins is for Bitcoin to continue to range, right? Altcoins want Bitcoin to go like this, in this range. In that situation, right, where Bitcoin is kind of trending towards the upside, not being in a weekly downtrend, right? Because the bears lost that weekly downtrend, the possibility, at least for the next week, right? Now they have to regroup and break down again. So we could simply just go sideways, and Bitcoin has been going sideways on the weekly time frame for a while now, right? We can just go ahead and take a look at that. How many weeks has it been? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 weeks of sideways action. So this has been a great time for altcoins. But if you consider now what's been happening, holy shit, a freaking bug. If you consider what's been happening, hold on a sec, guys. Don't like bugs. Where was I? Okay, yeah. If you consider what's been happening, okay, the fact that Bitcoin completely rebottomed into its weekly structure and retook its weekly structure, in combination with the fact that Bitcoin dominance now, okay, let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin dominance. Okay, remember, we just closed a monthly candle as well. This is where the monthly gets really important, guys, because I've been talking to you guys about the monthly structure on Bitcoin dominance for a while, and the easiest trade would have been if Bitcoin closed underneath the support region over here, right? We marked out this box and we said if Bitcoin closes underneath over here, then it becomes a lot easier. Well, we could be looking for a move all the way down to 41, right? And then eventually down to 37. But what did Bitcoin do instead? It closed right on top of it, right? It came and wicked a little bit underneath, but nothing significant at all, negligible, and now it's sitting on top of it. So it makes it a little bit difficult, and it's very plausible a Bitcoin dominance bounces from over here, which would entail money flowing into Bitcoin. Now, this could happen in multiple ways. It could either happen with money leaving all coins and going to Bitcoin, or more money flowing into, relatively more money flowing into Bitcoin as opposed to money flowing into all coins, right? Either way, what happens from over here is going to dictate as to whether it's going to be better to be in Bitcoin or whether it's better to be in altcoins. It's not an easy decision. Not by a long shot, but I think the weekly close is going to make it a little bit easier, right? Ethereum's looking fantastic. Some altcoins are looking fantastic, so it's not easy for that reason. Ethereum, however, okay, so we're talking about Bitcoin dominance, and Bitcoin dominance is a function of what altcoins are doing as well as what Bitcoin is doing. And one of the major altcoins, one of the heaviest altcoins, is Ethereum. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum now, and we get an idea of what altcoins are doing. Or do you guys want to look at Cardano instead? Let me know in the chat. We should look at Ethereum, to be honest. It's a better flow for the analysis. So here's Ethereum. And you guys are kind of figuring out what's happening here, right? By the way, guys, there's 200 of you here and only 66 likes. Go ahead, hit that like button. Try to get it up to 100. Make Mango feel loved. Mellow J says, watch out for those bugs. They could go up and then come back down. Hey, Krisha's in here. How's it going, Krisha? Of course, a freaking bug shows up on me right when Krisha shows up. Funny. If that was Krisha on the stream, she would be screaming her freaking lungs out. How's it going, Nanta? How are you, buddy? Andrew's saying Ethereum. IJ saying Ethereum as well. Alright. Likely Ethereum then. Guys, Krisha screams if she sees a bug on TV. Like, if there's a TV show and there's a bug on the TV show, like, she's going to scream. There's a show we recently tried to watch. I think it was Love and Monsters or something like that. And we couldn't get past like the first 5 minutes because Krisha couldn't take it. All right, so let's go ahead and no fear factor refunds. Nope, not for Krisha. We'll go ahead and take a look at Cardano first, and then we come back to Ethereum. Mostly because Cardano is a little bit easier to just analyze. But okay, how about this? How about this? The reason I'm saying that is because I kind of want to use the washroom. I'll use the washroom real quick and then come back, and then we'll start with Ethereum. Because Ethereum is important. I'm actually torn. I'm actually torn. We'll start with Ethereum, guys. It's important. And then we'll do Cardano, because it's really easy. Cardano, there's not a lot to discuss, because it's pretty easy what we want to look for. Maybe we should do Cardano for that reason. Alright, just be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me go ahead and switch the scene up. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to start with Ethereum, and I'm wondering whether I should start with a clean chart for you guys, and I think we should. Let's go ahead and do a clean chart. It'll be easier for you guys to understand. So Ethereum has really good news, and not bad news, so to speak, but we want to say be cautious, right? We want to be a little bit more cautious here. So the monthly close was freaking fantastic, really good, right? So essentially, what is the major monthly structure that we are looking at, or rather major zone? Well, you put on a neckline and that level right over there. Okay, so boom. Oh, that's black now, correct? Did mark it as black. Let's go ahead and change it quickly. So Ethereum closed a fantastic monthly close, so there's nothing but long-term bullishness on this. Okay, in the long term, I'm expecting Ethereum to make its way all the way up to perhaps 0.07 first, this zone over here between 0.07 to around 0.08, but eventually, remember, when we start doing our Ethereum trade all the way from somewhere around here, right, we were looking for all-time highs, at the very least, for Ethereum to get back to all-time highs at 0.11 to around 0.12-ish. We may even see a wick and a test of this all-time high over here at 0.15, which would be completely insane. At the time, I was talking about my targets of around $3,000 Ethereum, $5,000 Ethereum, and then $10,000 Ethereum. People called me a nutcase back then, but is it that much of an impossibility now? Okay, let's think about it, guys. Again, I'll reiterate. If Bitcoin even gets to around 0.1, sorry, if Ethereum gets to around 0.1 Bitcoin, okay, 0.1 Bitcoin, all we need is Bitcoin to be at $100,000. So if you guys believe, and I'm a Bitcoin bull, okay, and it's just not fair for Bitcoin bulls to say Ethereum will not get to $10,000. There's no way, right? Because if we are in a bull market, guys, and Bitcoin gets to $100,000 and Ethereum gets all the way here to 0.1, okay, or 0.11, well, that would mean that Ethereum is sitting at a $10,000 mark, right? In fact, Bitcoin needs to be only around 90K and Ethereum hits somewhere around here, and Ethereum is going to be sitting at a $10,000 mark, right? So regardless of your fundamental beliefs, there's a trade on Ethereum that puts it at very high numbers, okay, regardless of fundamental beliefs. So long term, our plan is still intact. We are still ultra bullish on Ethereum, and I hope you guys can hear me. Yep, you guys can hear me. Okay, now here's the thing. In the short term, I would be a little bit more cautious, and the reason for that is I'm going to go ahead and remove my monthly levels. Okay, monthly, we're looking good. We do have resistance over here at around 0.56. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, this does line up with what I'm going to go into. So this level right here, that is monthly resistance as well. But more importantly, guys, it is a major weekly level that we are coming up against. This is a monthly zone. Yeah, this is a monthly zone. This major weekly level right over here of this M-like structure, you could call it reverse Adam and Eve, is lining up with a monthly level too, and that's coming in at 0.054, so 0.055. okay, let's just round up, and there's not much edge now, right, against the next resistance, and that's a weekly level, so you don't wait too long. Around 4.8%. Do we break past it, or do we come down, put a higher low, maybe all the way down here, and then retry for that? Remember, this is Ethereum, and I'm about to sneeze. I muted my mic just in time for that. That was some really good finger work. And the crows are here. Okay, so Ethereum is coming up against resistance while Bitcoin dominance is sitting at major support. What does that add up to? Okay, Ethereum coming up against weekly resistance, also monthly resistance now that I think about it. But in my opinion, the major monthly resistance has been taken. But Bitcoin dominance sitting at major support, Ethereum coming up against weekly resistance. At the very least, I would be cautious for a pullback Not on the USD pairing. I'm talking about the Bitcoin pairing, right? Because the Bitcoin bounces from over here. Well, the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing is going to come down. If Bitcoin bounces, Ethereum's USD pairing may keep going up all the way up to 3,500, 4,000, but its Bitcoin pairing may come down. You know, to some of you that may not matter, but for those of you who do care about your Bitcoin trade, keep an eye on that. All right? Okay. So remember, Bitcoin pumping, Ethereum USD may keep going up, but the BTC pairing may take a hit, okay, depending on how fast Ethereum keeps up with Bitcoin moving. Does that make sense? Okay, so major weekly resistance coming up on Ethereum. Eyes on that. Don't get too FOMO-ish over here on Ethereum. The trade on Ethereum was all the way down over here when we were talking about it, while everybody else was getting a little bit too bearish on Ethereum. Now we might be seeing something similar with Cardano. People losing their patience with Cardano. Not really. I'm not seeing as much. Oh, thank you for the subscribe, Kent Tan. For those of you who haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Will be. I mean, you guys don't have to hit the subscribe button. You guys can hit the dislike button for all I care. Let's go ahead and analyze Cardano. Cardano on the USD pairing is where most of the action is happening in the next day or so. Okay. We have major weekly resistance that Cardano has been smacking up against for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 freaking weeks. 10 weeks of weekly resistance being put in place over here, right? If we break this level, if we do break this level, this is going to look like a bull flag breakout to me, all right? We've tried multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, right? And each time was rejected. If we break out, I'll be looking for a measured move all the way to $2.35, right? Around there. That is a good 80% move. Now, with that, we can actually go ahead and say, let's say Cardano moves up half of that level, like so half of that percent move on its Bitcoin pairing. So Bitcoin moves just as much, right? So we're going to go to the other BTC pairing. And output, let's say 40%. Okay, that would put Cardano on its Bitcoin pairing at its all-time high, or not all-time high, its current local high, right? Its all-time highs are all the way up there. So that would be really interesting. So right off the bat, you guys are seeing that the Cardano Bitcoin pairing does not look as good as the Cardano USD pairing, right? So most recently, Cardano has been kind of pulling back against Bitcoin, but not as bad over the past couple of weeks. We have retaken a key level, not yet. This is why this weekly candle close is so important, because we need to close above the zone over here at around 2,296 Satoshi. If Cardano manages to do that, it's going to look a lot better. But this is not a good picture nonetheless. I want to see Cardano close all the way up over here. I want to see this weekly candle close here. That would be the best picture for me. I'm not liking this candle at the moment. So many regulars here today. Love to see it. Yeah, man. Oh, man, you're so right. And it's so good to have the regulars in here too, because they are interested in the deeper analysis, right, on how things intermingle. Okay, anyways, going back to what we're talking about, Cardano is in a very precarious position in my opinion, which is why I'm more likely to be trimming my position down on Cardano going into this new weekly open. Because if you think about it, right, Cardano's USD chart is the best looking chart on Cardano at the moment. Okay? Unlike Ethereum, that's looking fantastic on its Bitcoin pairing as well as its USD pairing. Cardano is reliant on its weekly structure breaking up, and that's going to be its USD structure breaking up, right? Let's go back to the USD chart. Find my chart, okay, right here. That's Bitcoin, that's Cardano USD, Cardano USD. So we want the Cardano USD pair to break up. But that's going to be heavily dependent on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin breaks up, Cardano is more likely to break up. If Bitcoin breaks down over here, I don't see Cardano at the moment, at the very least, breaking towards the upside. It'd be a very, very pleasant surprise. The most bullish thing for Cardano to do is Bitcoin break down and Cardano break up on its USD pairing. That'd be really bullish. That would mean that something is up and something is coming. If we see that, great. But at the moment, we can't count on that, right? So if Cardano breaks up over here, because Bitcoin has broken up as well, then ADA BTC is going to be the big question. The next big question is ADA BTC going to move up? Because if Bitcoin outpaces Cardano on its USD pairing, it would mean that Cardano is just getting propped up on its USD pairing by Bitcoin, and in that case, I'd be looking for this continuation to fail, right? Eventually, or rather, just kind of go up but not see much. So it gets a little bit tricky over there because I want to be in the most efficient trade, right, with my capital, and Cardano may not be the one. So I'll be making that decision on whether I trim down my trade or not going into this weekly close. I'll update you guys tomorrow. Does this make sense to you guys, what I'm doing, what I'm saying? Krisha says the Africa news was totally priced in. Yeah, I told you no. I've not been following any of the news or any of that. Wow, it's been an hour and 15 minutes that we've been doing the live stream. We'll be wrapping up, guys, in around 10 minutes, maybe sooner. Right, let me just we have a Catan session ready. Boom. Jack says yes, he does understand. Okay, cool. Good to know. Thank you for responding, guys. Oh, we hit 100 likes. Nice. Good stuff. Oh, Gen 10, thank you for the live chat. I completely missed it. Did I miss any other live chats? Sorry, super chats? My thoughts on Corti. Let me go take a look at Corti. USDT pairing on the Bitcoin pairing, Jen. Nice bounce over here. But this could be because of the Bitcoin bounce, right? Actually looking pretty. So the major break on Corti was right over here, guys. When we took this level out, that was a big trade, and now we had a massive impulsive move. Right, so you have your impulsive move, your pullback. Now you're looking for the next leg, right? Looking for something like that. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of drawdown while Bitcoin was going sideways. So I'm interested to see how Corti did against Bitcoin. Probably not the best, right? Yeah, not the best. It's one of the reasons why I stopped. Like, I was trading Corti back last year in June, July-ish, and I stopped trading on this chart because I didn't like how it was doing these kind of things. It's a wick-like behavior. How about this? It wasn't a wick-like behavior. It was a lack of follow-through after breaking weekly structure on the Bitcoin pairing, and I'm kind of seeing that over here, right? No follow-through. It's kind of choppy. So I think many of you guys are interested in Corti because of some partnership with Cardano. Right? Try to not let that influence your decisions, guys. Trade the charts. Corti USDT isn't looking the worst. It did have a rough couple of weeks, but it did bounce this week, right? So that's really interesting. It looked really choppy. Today is a lot better to play. You want to play this on the higher time frames. The weekly, really nice trend on the weekly. Boom, 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 boom. Sell off, which is your pullback, which is essentially your downtrend on the lower time frames. Now you want to see the weekly uptrend continue because the weekly uptrend has not broken yet. Would we do that as a question? If we, okay, this is what I can tell you. Okay, if you're in the trade, okay, I don't know if you're in the trade or looking to get into the trade. What I can tell you is if we break this level here now next week, because we're about to close this week, right? So this week's candle is likely going to be closing somewhere around here. If next week's candle opens and then goes and takes out this low, well, that's your downtrend now, weekly downtrend, and that's not going to be a good look, especially if Bitcoin is going sideways. You want your alt to at least go sideways on its USD pairing, at least, not go down. Oh, that's such a head scratcher to me. Don't overthink it, man, AJ. Don't overthink it. When you need to have a time component to your trade too. As soon as the trade starts taking too long and showing weakness compared to other coins, there's an opportunity cost on that, and just allocate elsewhere, right? Allocate elsewhere. Because this weekly candle close is going to be really important. It's taking its time over here, and it's about time now, right? I don't like how the Bitcoin pairing has been putting in these kind of wicks. I want to see some follow through. Maybe we put in a higher low here, but again, really ugly price action in my opinion. These candles don't have meat in them. It could turn around and make a quick move towards 3,000 Satoshi, which is likely what's going to happen, but how long can you wait, right? On the flip side though, if you're trading this based on the higher time frames, you don't have to. Like the dynamic, for example, is green, right? And it's holding the dynamic for the past few days now, ever since we broke out of that zone on the weekly time frame. So Bitcoin too, by the way, guys, retook the dynamic, but it's still a signaling consolidation. Ichimoku is above it, right over there. We hide the horizontals for you guys. So you want to see the dynamic switch green, and that's likely going to line up with us bouncing off this TK cross over here. Well, rejected TK cross, right? The bulls rejected that TK cross. They didn't allow price to go low enough for this to cross bearish. Cameron says, what do you think of the next level of support is? Well, Cardano, right? You're asking. Just gonna go ahead and pull up the chart quick. So if I were playing Cardano on the USD pairing, which many of you guys are playing, I'd be looking at these two key levels over here. $1.04 is really, really major, and towards the upside, $1.32, right? So we've been talking about the upside throughout the stream. I did not mention the downside. If Cardano breaks $1.03, I'd be looking for further down. We already put in a low over here, by the way, guys. That is really, really ugly. Okay, this low took out this low over here, which is not the best look. But you can write that off at the moment as a liquidity hunt, because we closed pretty well. We had a really nice close, but I wouldn't say really nice, but acceptable close, acceptable. And the follow through makes this wick definitely a liquidity hunt, right? This wick over here, considering this follow through, validates our thesis that this was a liquidity hunt back when we were discussing it. Now we don't want to lose this candle close over here at around $1.04. Is he? Okay. I may have to wrap up soon, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We will be doing an update tomorrow. Yeah, tired. Still haven't recovered entirely. So we covered Cardano, we covered Ethereum, we covered Bitcoin. Is there anything else we do want to look at? That's pretty much it. It's crazy how this is working. It's just absolutely crazy. So what do you guys think? Is the Fed going to step in with yield curve control? Or are they going to let yields run hot? Yeah, guys, I'll do all of these altcoins tomorrow. Like today I wanted to cover these majors because they're really important to a lot of people. I'm also really tired today, so I can't stay on for too long. But tomorrow or Tuesday, right? Tomorrow's going to be an important weekly close, but since we discussed it today, we may not have to touch on it too much tomorrow. So one of the days I'll just do all coins, right? We'll just sit back and relax and do all coins. I was supposed to do that today, but so much of that. Likely gonna step in. What do you mean, Krisha? Used. Oh, hey Ollie, how's it going? Sovereign. Oh, okay. Krisha is responding to my question in regards to Fed stepping in with quantitative yield curve control, probably quantitative easing. I don't know about that. They don't need to do yield curve QE, and yield curve control don't need to go hand in hand. Hariram Krisha, sorry, Hariram Naran says, how are you and Krisha doing these days? What are you guys up to these days in terms of chilling? I've been under the weather for the past week, man. So Krisha has been trying to keep me in bed and trying to make sure that I don't overdo it in terms of work. For me, work essentially means reading books. It's such a great life, man. It's such a great life. As a trader, you get to like your free time is you doing whatever you want, right? And that's essentially researching and learning more on how the world works. Krisha says she'll be covering all coins. Somebody did ask about Link, and I did want to quickly mention Link. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at Link. Link. I think Ollie's in Link too, right? So it'll be interesting for him. On the daily time frame, so the weekly is looking interesting too now. Interesting, but the daily time frame, guys, look at this. Clicking finally, right? Finally. We did confirm a candle above it, but now I want to see continuation. It's all lining up with what Bitcoin's doing too, guys. So I want to see continuation towards the upside. So that's Link. Really important candle close on this Sunday, but we want to see the weekly close really well too. And we can go to the weekly now. Weekly looking good. We want Link to start a weekly uptrend against Bitcoin, which it's not done yet, right? This could be a big trade that I might be building into, by the way, guys. Or it could fail, right? We don't know. So you build the trade as it goes. Right now, it's not ready. I'll tell you guys that. On the weekly structure, it's not close to being ready. So yeah, Uni holding well, breaking towards the upside. Solana, the trade on Solana was all the way down here. But on the Sol BTC chart, it was here. Right, that's where we were discussing it in the Mango Seed chat. This was one of the big trades that I did post, and yeah, going well. Bitcoin bouncing pretty well. Nice. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Who would have thunk that TA really works? Nice pull back into support and now bounce. I want to see this level right over here get taken back 57,317. All right, so with that, guys, I'll be wrapping up the stream right over here. Let me just go ahead and take a quick look at the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I wasn't supposed to be doing a stream today. It is a Sunday after all, but hey, we do have an important weekly close coming up in a few hours. Keep your eyes open. Do not sleep on Bitcoin. Manage your trades accordingly. Manage risk. You'll be rewarded for doing so. At the very least, you will find opportunity in the markets if you keep your eyes open. Again, throw a like, throw a subscribe, hit that bell icon so you guys don't miss the next live stream. If you guys aren't at our Mango Discord just yet, go ahead and join. It's completely free. We don't keep it open publicly all the time, especially when we were on Telegram prior. We used to turn our group into a private group during the bull markets. At the moment, we are keeping it open. It may not be open in the future, so go ahead and join while you can. It's the mangoway.com/discord. You'll be given a quick captcha thingy to do just to verify that you're not a bot. Once you do that, you'll get access to our wonderful family community, right? We are really family oriented community in there, especially the seed. The seed is like freaking as family as it gets, man. It's like my second family, pretty much. More like my family, to be honest. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Should I leave the music on for you guys a bit? Let's do that.